All right. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Realms of the Wild. Yes, this is our custom open legend RPG set in the universe-ish of Breath of the Wild, though our version is significantly more bizarre and messed up, probably due to the DM having severe problems. Anyway, the people that you see below me are the lovely players. Obviously, those of you that have tuned in before, three of them should look very familiar, and for some of you, one of them will look somewhat familiar, but you'll be like, "Hey, who's the dude with the beard?" The amazing.
It's a little shorter than I'd like it to be, but
yeah.
Oh, thank God! I was gonna be so conscious. And I was like, please don't let that be about me. I know I haven't done anything lately.
No, I was gonna say thank you for noticing, Jodie.
And now that we've crapped all over his introduction,
you guys so much.
I was really proud of that intro.
Oh wow!
Like, oh, that was cool.
I didn't even realize I had a beard. Sorry, guys. I forgot to say.
He's on a delay. He's coming in via satellite phone compared to the rest of us. Oh my God. Okay.
I'm good. Sorry.
The DM has been broken. Everyone take a legend point. Congratulations.
gladly,
Bastards.
Ah!
Huzzah!
Hey,
Wow, that was much funnier than it needed to be. So we have the amazing John joining us. His character will be introduced once we start playing the game, which for those of you that tuned in last time, you'll probably figure out pretty quickly that he will show up pretty quickly because bad stuff's about to go down.
I hope
What?
he shows up pretty
No!
quickly.
Quiet game, right?
Yeah, we'll fill you in a little bit, Kiri. There's a few announcements. First things first, as you can see on screen, it is CDI month at Zelda Universe. What does that mean, Jodie? How can I participate?
Nobody asked these questions.
Well, I'm glad that you asked that.
Okay.
Site articles and YouTube videos commenting on the Zelda CDI games will be appearing on the site and on the YouTube channel over the next month. Elias is less than pleased about this. There will be CDI characters that pop up on Twitch while you are watching any of the Zelda Universe content that will grant you extra rupees. Rupees that you can use to do things like buy NPCs or get rid of monsters or add monsters to combat, whichever you prefer, or even to buy healing potions or healing fairies to help out the players as I completely demolish them with my awesome monsters.
Rude.
So yeah, that's always cool. And Elias asks that you do not show your support for this month so that it never happens again.
I'm very specific about that.
Well, I know what I'm doing.
If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, there was a console. I can't. Was it? It wasn't just called the CDI, right?
It was the Philips Sony CDI? Philips CDI because the Nintendo PlayStation failed.
Yes.
And so they came up with this instead.
And it was disc based, right?
It was disc, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was disc based, and two Zelda games came out for it, The Wand of Gamleon, and I can't remember the other one. One of which you actually get to play as Zelda. And they were both horrendous. The worst games ever. And they're really fun to watch people play because they are that bad. People just lose their minds trying to play them.
Unfortunately, none of the streamers here at Zelda Universe have the capability to stream the CDI games. So it's just something we couldn't do for you guys this month, unfortunately.
Don't you guys stream them for the Zelda marathon that you do?
No one has a CDI because they're a unicorn, and
Yeah.
it's super hard to emulate it as well.
Oh, I thought I'd seen you guys play it before.
I have an actual unicorn.
Anyone in chat,
Easier to
if you would like to spite Elias and don't mind, searching for a unicorn and then probably playing an exorbitant amount of money for a piece of junk, find his a CDI and send it to Zelda Universe along with copies of the game. It will probably run you enough to purchase a used car, a decent used car. But yeah. Anyway, so that's the announcements for the channel. I actually have 2 announcements for Realms of the Wild. First things first, as always, on the week that we are not playing, we have a poll that goes up on Twitter that lets you guys actually choose who you felt was the MVP of the last episode. And this week's winner is Pierre. Elias is still bitter that Aruna always comes in last.
I'm just in a constant state of bitterness in case it wasn't.
But last was so much closer this time.
And now that John has
my heart.
a guest character, Elias will have another person to lose to. So
Yep.
Congratulations to Pierre. When he comes back, he will have a legend point waiting for him. And these are special legend points. There are rules that actually dictate how legend points can be spent in Open Legend. And you are limited to how many you can use on a single roll. The legend points that you guys give either through purchasing them with rupees or through the MVP poll do not count towards that. They can be banked extra long. They can be used more than other ones. So you guys do have a direct effect on the game because we want this to be a journey that we all take, that I have complete control over because I have no control in my life and desire control over other people and things. And that's completely healthy and not at all something that my therapist and I talk about every week.
I feel like this is a motivation for many DMs.
Sad part is I don't think I've ever actually talked to my therapist about this game. So she encourages me to roleplay.
Not even advertising to your therapist. Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jody. Come on, man.
There are
Market
other
that.
things. There are other things I talk to her about. Okay.
You know what? I guess it's actually a compliment that nothing happens in this game that you feel the need to bring it up in therapy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but then your therapist could watch and be another viewer. So.
You know what? I really
Wow.
I love my therapist. She is amazing. But I am terrified. If you've ever seen What About Bob, I am terrified of becoming Bob.
I would be terrified of being a Bob.
Or emergency situations, or if I have to cancel for whatever reason because I can't drive myself. I have her cell phone, and when she gave it to me, I have her cell phone number, not her cell phone.
Oh, okay. That
You
makes
actually
sense.
stole the cell phone.
That's better.
When she,
No
when
one
she
will. If I
gave it
can't
to me-
call her, no one can.
If
When
you
she
have her
gave it
cell
to me,
phone, text all those
I
comments.
brought up. I'm like, is this really a good idea? Have you never seen What About Bob? And she goes, What About Bob is my favorite movie. And I'm like, you went into the right profession.
Gonna kill you. Bury you.
What About
by
Bob
the
doesn't
lake.
kill anyone. He's just
No,
massive.
no. I'm saying that the therapist tries to kill Bob.
Oh,
For
yeah.
us who have never heard of or seen this movie before, it's really great hearing all these random.
It's an amazing movie. Go see it. Richard
Seriously?
Dreyfuss, Bill Murray. They're
It's-
wonderful.
It's like classic comedy.
Actually, I
Oh.
have seen it.
Okay, I was gonna have to
It's
judge
amazing.
you.
Once you said Bill Murray, I remembered it instantly.
Yeah, it's amazing. Bill Murray shows up at his therapist's vacation. It's awesome. And his family loves, therapist's family loves him. Richard Dreyfuss wants to kill him. It's awesome.
Quite literally at one point.
Yes. So anyway, yeah, that's the announcements. So yeah, feel free to speaking chat and stuff like that, I do have chat open so I can see the stuff that you guys are saying. Like I said, I have a rule at my table that if you can break the DM, you get a reward. Because at one point, I was very good at controlling my emotions. If you guys break me in chat with puns, tend to do it a lot. The worse, the better. So if you guys want to try and break the DM, go ahead. I will give you legend points that you can't use until you join the game somehow. So,
I was under the impression that the reward was ice cream. That's my bad.
Oh well, we'll talk.
No, some of us are lactose intolerant.
Some of us just don't
have
eat dairy.
lactose-free ice cream.
Yeah, and it's terrible. Have you had it?
No.
I have friends that are lactose intolerant and said it was really good.
Well, they've lost their ability to taste things. I don't know what to tell. Something happens to you.
It's called Stockholm syndrome.
That's the thing.
Don't they have like lactase so that you can eat lactose stuff for like
it's a Russian roulette if it actually works.
And then there's some of us who just don't eat dairy.
Well, I don't know what to say to you because anyone who willingly rejects cheese is me.
I live in Wisconsin. It's illegal to not eat cheese here. So
yeah, I'm gonna get arrested a lot.
You may find, like, we take our cheese very seriously. You may find that there are versions of cheese, like if you've never had cheese curds, deep fried cheese curds, super good.
Yeah.
If you can get good ones, like you have to find good ones, but you may find versions of cheese that you like here. There's tons.
So much death.
Anyway, enough about crazy stuff going on. Imp in my head says he thinks Ben & Jerry's made a good lactose-free one. Ben & Jerry's makes good regular ice cream.
That's fine. I'm just saying, like, Aaliyah's not wrong. It's all Stockholm syndrome. It's an acquired taste, which is the nice euphemistic way to say Stockholm syndrome.
I did not realize I was going to start a 40-minute conversation when I brought up ice cream.
So,
good job, Elias. Good job.
Well, you were a fool, Elias, a fool.
Yeah.
It's time for us to return to the realms of the wild. And one day we'll be cool enough to have our own like super awesome intro. We're not that cool yet. But that'll be the cue.
We have ideas
for the intro. Yeah. So to bring everyone back up, these guys, as soon as I start talking, these guys have been traveling towards a place called the Forgotten Temple because they met.
We remembered it.
Impa, who is the leader of Kakariko Village. And she mentioned that since they were looking for places where large amounts of tragedy and death had occurred, because that's what's required for a wound to form, which is what causes these tears between realms. She mentioned the Forgotten Temple as a place where something very tragic had happened. So they've been traveling for a little while now, weeks actually, to get here. They went down into a ravine after experimenting with bombs and flight and almost dying.
It's more difficult.
Falling damage hurts, by the way. While they've been traveling through this canyon, they've been seeing shadows of things that aren't really there and have just been getting this very strange feeling the entire time that they've been going. Excuse me. I apologize.
How dare you?
Last week, right as the credits rolled, they were traveling and turned a corner and went face to face with a fully active and very angry guardian. And that's where we stopped last week. So that is where we are going to pick up for today. So
This is fun.
if you would be so kind, you all are again dealing with everything that's going on, and then you hear Aruna, who is the first one to see it. I'm assuming you warn your party members, Aruna?
Yes, I yell,
Okay.
Guardian!
One of these days, Aruna is just going to be fed up with all of us and be like, no, I turned into a rock.
I think by the time that day happens, you guys will be fed up with me first.
Never.
So as Aruna screams out, Guardian,
Not quite
kind of like,
oh, in that way.
What's the official?
No, I want it to be like
Guardian?
that. It sounds like you're about to start singing Oklahoma, but about
Guardian is right
And they
above
go
us
shoot
right
you.
now.
By the way, folks, we are still planning the musical episode. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that has to happen for that to happen.
Their laser beam shoot you.
You are still getting a musical episode.
Can I be a
not
guest on that episode?
Sure, if you want.
Oh, God.
I'll
I'm
bring
already out. I need so much more.
Be careful.
I'll bring on a choir. I don't care.
Woo.
I have no idea what the limits of Zoom are, but that's
Madonna.
We're gonna find out.
I know what they are, and I'm not telling you.
It's fine. We'll have
I'm still
3 people per screen. We'll just have guests physically in our presence.
still in contact with
I like
like
this.
I don't know, a quarter of the people from my choir in college. So
Google exists. We can figure out those limitations on our own. We
Yeah.
don't need you.
Anyway,
We really do.
what I would like is for everyone, including John, to roll for initiative.
Mm.
Surprise, John's actually the
What if he's
guardian.
the Guardian?
John is the guardian. That's what it is. What's going to happen is a little door will pop open in the back, and then this like 3-inch tall guy will come out and go,
Hey guys, get out of here. I don't like you.
I don't have initiative. I
Don't
went
expect me to
art
do that
school.
voice, Jody.
on your character sheet.
Under speed.
No, I was making a joke and no one.
Oh, sorry.
I don't have
Ha,
initiative.
ha.
I went to art school.
Ha ha.
I don't understand jokes.
But you have like an awesome job. Like,
Nah,
Oh, do we need to use
Every day
Roll20
job.
for this?
yes, but compared to what my day job is, which is nothing, you are super
okay,
awesome.
well that's not really a fair comparison, is it?
And without giving away anything that you don't want on the internet webs, you work for a major company that gives joy to millions of people every year.
They take all my time, and I.
I thought Jody was talking about me for a second. I was like, please.
Oh, you know, you work. You're in programming, aren't you?
Yes, but all right,
I'm not going to say where you work. I'm saying that you work in the tech industry. That's just.
I rolled an 18.
Do we need to use Roll20 for this, or can I use my?
You do not. I do recommend. I generally recommend using Roll20 just because all dice explode for your rolls, and it will explode them automatically for you. But as Elias will attest, he does use. You can just regular roll. You just have to add up your dice on your own.
As someone who is often screwed by Roll20, I'd prefer to use my dice.
Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So,
And,
Runa, what'd you get?
18.
All right, Zulta,
8.
Cass. That's you, Kiri. What did you
What?
get?
Sorry, 14.
And then I believe he's actually is his name on screen now? I don't.
It's yeah, it is.
Okay, so
It's
Atticus.
just the same as before for right now.
15.
Remarkably enough, we got really creative with how to translate his character from dream world to actual world, including not changing the name.
Somehow.
It'll all make
I'll
sense in this very heavy RP session that I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
have to happen.
Oh
Well,
no.
I have a reason for how it works. None of the rest of you guys know it, but I need to go here. I just realized I have to actually roll initiative for this dude too.
As well as the 5 guardians coming up behind him.
Yes. Oh, wow. He rolled awesome initiative. All right.
Who will he shoot first?
So, as you guys are there, Aruna, with you being closest and the first one to actually see all of this, you are actually going to be up first. What would you like to do?
Okay. So it's how far away from me, roughly?
It is within, let's say, because it's you saw it just around a corner. Let's say it's within about 20 feet. Like it just, you literally almost ran into it.
All right. And then
as far as guardians are concerned, because they tend to be more ranged.
And then the last guardian we encountered, it was over pretty quickly, but did it ever did I see it attack in any way? Did I see anything except it move and be
you're familiar enough with guardians to know that generally their main form of attack involves their eye beam.
Okay.
Beyond that, the last encounter you had with the guardian was over relatively quickly. You threw a bomb and exploded the ground.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So, 20 feet, huh? Let's. You know what?
You also know they are remarkably fast.
Okay.
For how big they are. Like they're like even Aruna is dwarfed by this mechanical creature thing. But they are massively fast.
Big and fast. All right. So if it's relatively close to me, where I think I can close the distance.
Oh, definitely.
What Aruna's gonna do, or try to do, he's gonna try to get into Goron roll, build up roll speed, and try to roll 20 feet right on up to it, and just sort of like use what I'm assuming is a little leg that's right there, and just sort of roll straight up into its I-beam face, and blast bash or punch that thing right in the eye.
Okay.
While holding on for dear life.
This is the point where I meant to say this before we got into the story, but this is a perfect place to announce it. I have made a slight change to one of the ways you can interact in combat to encourage these guys to do even more cool stuff than they already do. In Open Legend, you actually have some special actions you can take. There's one called a focus action, which takes both your action and your move in order to do. And then there's another one called assist, which is something that you do on someone else's turn. And generally it's things like, you'll assist by, trying to block an attack that's going to hit one of your allies or other things like that. The downside of assist is if you use it, you lose your major action on your next turn. I am going to change that so you can use the assist action once per round. And it does not take your major action for your next turn. The only downside of it is on a normal attack roll, if you miss, what I generally do is I let the player choose. Either they can just miss completely and nothing happens, or they choose one of 3 options and I get to choose one of 3 options for the creature to make as well, which the options are moving without an opportunity attack, doing a little bit of damage, or inflicting a bane on somebody. With the assist actions, that won't actually count. The overall rule of how Open Legend works, which is every roll matters, and if a roll fails, it will either, or if you don't hit the difficulty class of the roll, either it will succeed with a twist, or it will fail but move the story forward. So that is the only limitation of, bless you, of the assist action. And for you guys specifically, the assist action can take anything from trying to use your abilities to shield an ally from an attack, to teaming up with them and doing a double attack, to augmenting them to make their attack more powerful. You describe what you want to do. I will translate it into mechanics. So don't worry about the mechanics aspect. Just go, I have this ability. I want to use it to try and do this thing. And then I will tell you what to roll. So with that in mind, in order for you to get up to where you are going effectively, I'm actually going to have you make, and I have to look at this. I'm going to actually have you make me an agility check, just because you are doing something kind of unique as you launch yourself up into the air.
Okay.
So we'll see how close you get to what you actually want to hit.
I'm going to use a legend point here.
Okay, cool. You have advantage 1 on this now.
Oh, come on.
Both of those numbers are wrong.
Thank goodness. Okay. That's 19.
You as you sit there and go into your Goron roll, you feel kind of your instincts take over, and you very naturally kind of bank against the wall of the canyon and launch yourself up. You're going directly towards the eye. You have advantage 1 on this attack roll. Go ahead and make your Blast Basher attack.
For anyone wondering, by the way, this looks very much like a Goron doing a Superman punch.
Yes.
With a bomb right in front of his
Yes. I mean, whatever. Cool.
It's cool, I guess. I mean, it's not like that big a deal, but
Okay, advantage 1. 23 damage. Or 23 attack roll.
against guard, I'm assuming.
Against guard, yes.
All right. That does hit for some damage. Not 10 over. So you guys watch as Aruna goes into a roll, banks up against one of the walls of the canyon, launches himself up into the air, and comes down with this flying punch with a bomb on his fist. Smacks into the Guardian Stalker, and you watch as this explosion happens that actually knocks Aruna back a little bit from the explosion, and you watch him land and go boop, 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 boop.
Oh, dang. Okay.
So you land on the ground without hurting yourself, but you're about 5 feet away from it now. Why is it saying my connection's broken? Stop
It
that.
says that for me too.
Oh, good. Then I didn't break everything, or I might have, but I'm not doing
fine.
it.
We're still on the air, which is the important thing. Is that all of my movement?
Yeah, I'm gonna say flying up into the air. We're actually going to double your damage though from hitting it directly in the eye.
So that was 46.
46? No, that was not 46.
The number was 23. Oh, but the damage is okay. I understand.
Yeah, the damage is the difference between your.
So then, wait, was the double damage 10 over?
Yes, but your roll has to be 10 over for the bane, not the
I
damage.
gotcha.
Nice try.
I'm trying here.
So yeah, you watched Aruna do something cool.
And then
next,
I curl up in an attempt to camouflage myself.
Aruna goes full rock.
I just hope it was disoriented enough to not realize that this
Rock had never been there before.
I mean, you got rid of, you hurt one of its eyes, so.
It only has
one
eye,
eye.
but
Yes, one of one.
it looks more pissed off than anything else. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
I wanted to do that, and then
Let himself.
Yes.
As you guys are sitting there, you hear a string of words in Hylian that generally would not be uttered in mixed company. And you see this large Hylian start running at you. Atticus, why don't you describe yourself for them?
Yeah, sure. So imagine
priceless for a moment.
I'm trying to think of a good actor here, but I can't. I'm failing.
There are so few of us around.
Yeah, imagine a tall, like scruffy looking dude with like a pretty late 5 o'clock shadow, maybe like a 10 o'clock shadow, and
Hugh Jackman.
Taller.
He's like 6'4". Like he's
really
tall. Yeah, he's super tall.
They downplay his height in the
X-Men films because Wolverine is like 5'6".
He's 5'2".
He's 5'2". Yeah, Wolverine
is
is
5'2". He's a cute little munchkin. He's like 2 inches taller than me.
But no, Hugh Jackman is very tall. It's one of the reasons why he almost didn't get the part.
Yeah. So he's wearing like some scruffy looking leathers and boots and.
Who you calling scruffy looking?
Yeah, pretty much that.
So Atticus, you've been kind of following this party of ne'er-do-wells that are going places that they really shouldn't be. And you heard a sound that you have heard before that generally means people are going to die. And so you have rushed in the attempt to prevent as much death as possible. And now see this giant guardian stalker that has just been sucker punched by a Goron. A flying Goron. So at the beginning of this, you're a little bit further back than the rest of the party. You're about 50 feet away from him. What do you want to do? And by the way, guys, do not forget your assist action can be used on anyone else's turn. You can just use it once per round. And like I said, your imagination is the limit. So feel free to use it as much or as little as you want. So back to Atticus. You're about 50 feet away. You see the guardian stalker there. It doesn't look happy. You've yet to see one that does, but
hit it with a law book.
Did it like recoil at all, or can I still see like eye?
Yeah, you can still see the eye. The eye seems undamaged, though you can see some scuff marks and things like that around it. So the explosion obviously, damaged it a little bit, but not enough to affect the lethalness of the machine.
Okay. I would like to. You said I'm like 50 feet away, right?
Yes. By the way, since this is your first combat, I should probably explain combat. In Open Legend, you have a major action, which is things like attacking and stuff like that. You have a minor action, which you can use as many minor actions as you want on your turn. You can just only use one of the same minor action. And there are things like sustaining a boon or interacting with an object, things like that. And then you have a move action, which allows you to move your speed.
Yeah.
So, knowing that and knowing the cool stuff that you have.
Yeah. I actually don't have the card up for that one thing, and I need to look at the range on that. But
let's say 25 feet is going to be within its range, and I think 50 feet, because if it's a short range, so 25 feet means you roll normally. Within 50 feet, you would know between 25 and 50 feet, you would roll with disadvantage 1.
Okay. How far away is this Goron that is now a rock? From the Guardian.
Oh, it's about five-ish feet. Like it landed at the Guardian's feet.
So I wouldn't be able to make it up to.
You wouldn't be able to make it up to him, no.
All right.
I believe you have a movement of 30, so you
30,
could get within 25 feet of the Guardian Stalker.
Yeah, that's what I would like to do. I want to run like in the direction of where the Goron is to try to like, maybe use this new boulder as like cover on my next turn if it doesn't move. That's like what he's doing, right? He's like,
gotcha.
What's wrong with all the old boulders?
Yeah, and then I would like to pull out that one item and fire at that thing's face.
All right, so you guys, as he walks forward, you see him pull from underneath his leathers. He has kind of, I'm assuming you have like a coat or something.
Yeah, like a kind of like a duster. Yeah,
a duster. So you guys see him coming in with a brown coat, and
wait a minute.
He reaches underneath it and he pulls out this item that none of you have ever seen anything like it before. And as he sits there and extends it, you watch him take aim very, very carefully with it. And Kiri, you kind of get the same feeling that you do from using your hook shot, where you can see he's definitely lining up a shot. And you think you might have found somebody else that has invented their own very unique looking hook shot.
Or was it Malcolm Reynolds? I mean, what?
However, when you see him pull the trigger device on the item, an incredibly loud explosion happens. You see a flare, a flash from the end of this strange device, and almost faster than you can watch, something is propelled out of it.
It's a gun, y'all. It's a freaking gun.
What?
Atticus, I would like you to go ahead and make a hand cannon attack.
Let's see if this works. That's what? Agility for me?
Yes, your hand cannon is agility. So you would add your agility dice to your D20 roll. And remember, anything that rolls maximum, you get to keep that and then roll that dice again. That's what's called
I use
dice.
20 for that because it's just complicated.
Okay.
15.
All right. So as you sit there and you aim and you fire, you didn't hit the difficulty class. So you get a choice. It can either just miss entirely and we go on to the next person's turn, or you get to choose one of three options and the monster gets to choose one of three options. Those options are do 3 damage, move 10 feet without provoking an opportunity attack, or inflict a bane of power 3 or lower on the creature. What do you want to do?
I would like to, since I ran my full 30 feet up. Let's see. You said bane of 3 or lower?
Yes.
Ooh. Where are my banes on this sheet?
I don't think I labeled them. Let me. I can actually bring up your sheet.
I think I have them here, though.
And I can tell you what are banes and what are not.
You know what? For the sake of time, I'll just. I'll choose to just move up 10 more feet.
Okay. As you do that,
towards the rock.
So you guys watch as he fires off this shot, and it goes and just barely misses this Guardian Stalker faster than you guys were expecting. The Guardian Stalker looks and fires a beam directly at Atticus. You are currently on fire.
Great.
This dude is on fire. Sorry.
That probably just made him look even cooler, because just like a gust of wind just sort of blew his coat back, and he's like got flames, and he's just slowly like jogging up.
It's very Dread
After
Pirate
shooting
Roberts.
a gun, which none of us has seen before.
Yeah, he's massively badass.
As far as we know, we're like, is that supposed to happen? Because that's fucking awesome.
This how
Well
this works?
done.
He makes a loud sound and then flames erupt from him.
Cool.
He's a wizard.
He has magic.
I must learn this magic.
Again.
So, Atticus, at the start of your next turn, you will be taking some damage. However, as you move 10 more feet towards the boulder that you hope will still be there by the next turn, we go to Cass.
Now remind my very tired brain what the terrain looks like.
You are in a canyon right now. The walls go up about 300 feet. And the canyon itself is like 100 feet wide. And you guys have basically just turned a corner to find a guardian.
Okay.
So it's mostly it's mostly open terrain. There's really not a whole lot of cover beside obviously the canyon wall itself. And Aruna.
Is the canyon wall a substance that I can hookshot into, or
You actually used your hook shot to climb all the way down it.
that's
So
right. Okay. Wait, no, that's not right because I wasn't here for that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
you
good to
totally
know.
did that.
I mean,
you, being the good
I-
player that
that's
you are, you
right.
obviously watched all the episodes.
because
of
I had terrible surgery.
Yes.
I don't think it's a matter of being the player that she is. I think it's that Kess was there.
Tess was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course she
So
knows.
you you do
sorry.
know that the canyon wall
Too
you
much
can
grog last night.
as long as you aim for the right spots, you can lodge your hook shot into the canyon wall and either just use it for travel or you can actually hang off of it. 'Cause
Okay.
You've done that. You've done both of those.
All right. I'm trying to logic here, and I don't have the brain power, so bear with me. My aggressive learning will be slightly more passive.
It's a
Passive-aggressive learning.
So you learn stuff, but then you just make comments about, well, never
basically-
use that.
I just, instead of actually just saying it, I'll just be like, suppose that's interesting. So my grandmother would, I'm just going to go full
Definitely a
grandma
choice.
style. we all make choices, and I suppose that was yours. They can only move their heads, right?
You've never seen one operational before.
Okay.
Wait,
I thought we'd run into one before.
You did. It was a very, very quick encounter.
Okay.
Like we're talking less than 30 seconds.
It fell through a hole.
That's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
You've done a little bit of study, so I will allow you to roll. What is that called? A learning check.
Aggressive learning, go! 18.
So you do remember their heads are basically built on a swivel. They can turn 360 degrees.
Okay, cool. That's all I needed to know. I would like to use my hook shot to get a higher advantage ground so that I can just claim, I've won, Anakin. I have the higher ground.
Oh.
Okay.
You guys are really tired.
So
Aruna's gonna have a lot of questions.
Cass,
after this, who Anakin is.
for some bizarre reason, starts speaking with a new accent.
A
And
better accent. You and McGregor forever.
Ewan McGregor doing an impression of Alec Guinness.
Fine.
You see a beard suddenly appear. And yeah, go ahead and make your go ahead and make your hook shot roll.
Which should be, I think.
You can just do a hook shot attack.
Is it?
It's
Okay.
it's the same roll. It's a logic roll is all it is. So
Okay.
you could technically just make a logic roll if you wanted.
32.
32. So you fail. No. You
I oughta.
you hit exactly where you want to hit. So I'm assuming that brings you up to about 25 feet above the ground, or
Cool.
I think that's the limit of your. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So you're hanging 25 feet up in the ground. You're attached to the wall. The Guardian Stalker is remarkably tall. It's about 15, 20 feet tall. So you're like 5-10 feet above where its eye level would normally be.
Okay.
However, it was designed to kill things below it, not above it. So that is your movement.
I would like to hold here, please.
Okay. Anything you want to do with your major action?
Am I allowed to?
The only thing you can't really do is one of your hands has to stay holding on to the hook shot, or you fall.
Is there anything I can do to like analyze like any other weak spots, or is it just the eye? Or
sure, if you want to try to kind of figure out more weak spots about it, I'll let you make a learning check. No, actually, that would be, let's make this a logic check instead.
I don't know what's going on.
Because you're actually trying to do something logical.
22.
Oh, yes, coffee.
22. That fails. Looking at it, you notice a couple different things. Without the legs, the Guardian Stalker is significantly less dangerous because the pivoting speed of its head is not nearly as quick as its legs are. So targeting the legs could limit its ability to do things. As far as what's going to do the most damage, it looks like the most vulnerable spot is that eye.
Okay.
So yeah, that's your major action. That will actually bring us to Zulta, because I rolled super high for the Stalker initiative.
I'm glad that's sarcasm.
So I had a really dumb idea, and Zolta's gonna do it.
Yay! I mean, oh no.
Typical Zolta fashion.
You know when you see kids hanging onto their parents' leg, and the parents are like,
Yeah!
this.
Not quite, I have the same idea.
Zolta's gonna run up and grab the leg and then like shoot electricity through the freaking Guardian and just hold on to the leg and hope that reduces your chance of getting hit.
Go ahead and make a energy attack with advantage 1.
Can I do an assist action here?
What would you like to do?
I'm assuming when I'm a rock, I can sort of peek under it every now and then. And since I'm right close to the Guardian, if she succeeds,
yeah, you can see underneath it.
If I can see that she succeeds in actually like holding onto a leg, can I like try and reach and hold on to another leg?
So I am going to make the clarification. If you're using the assist action, you are doing it simultaneously as the other action. So no, if she succeeds, I do this. Okay. It's either I'm going to do this or not do this.
Then yeah, okay. If I see that that's what she's going for. Sorry, to use another.
And you would see that.
Then I'm gonna try and help.
All right, I'll have you make a might check to see if you can hold on to it. And then obviously the attack roll from Zulta. So I'm going to actually have Aruna go first. What did you get, Aruna? 12. So as you sit there and you grip onto it, it's remarkably not difficult to grip onto it. And it lifts its leg and flings you back. And you take...
Oh gosh.
3 points of I guess they don't have damage types in this anymore. I was going to say 3 points of bludgeoning damage as you're thrown back about 15 feet.
Oh, okay. I still try to maintain my disguise as a rock.
Yes.
This rock just came running out of nowhere and then gets
actually, just for flavor, Atticus, as you were running towards the rock, get up and grab and then get thrown, and you watch this boulder come at you, and it hits the ground. It goes and stops like Men in Black style right in front of you. You're just sitting there like, wow, my cover has arrived.
Yeah.
So Zulta, how'd you do?
Well, I got a 16.
Okay, so not quite high enough to defeat the guard of the creature. So choice. It can either just fizzle out, or you choose one, I choose one.
And that's only Banes, right?
Yes, Banes, you cannot do a boon. And the Bane has to be a power level 3 or lower.
Okay.
And it has to be a Bane that can be inflicted by the attribute that you used.
Do I even have any that do?
For energy, you could do. There's always.
Can I do persistent damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you shock this creature, and while it doesn't do exactly what you were hoping it would do, by the way, did you? Oh wait, no, you didn't, because he didn't get a good hold. I was going to give you advantage if Aruna got a good hold. So as you shock it, it doesn't quite have the exact effect you want, but the electricity starts like kind of flowing through it. You can see little sparks flying off as it does that. And yeah, it's going to just kind of fling you off. You're not going to fly quite as far. And you're going to take 3 damage.
Okay.
As it kind of flings you off. But then I need you to roll a d6. Because 3rd level persistent damage is a d6.
I rolled a 1.
1. So it takes 1 sparking damage.
I'm switching to regular dice for some of this
now. So it sparks a little bit as it's getting ready. It is looking around for a target, and still the one that did the most damage right now is that large creature that punched it. So it's going to take a swing at you. Oh, and I have this set up already. This is so nice. So you see this beam of light, Aruna, start coming towards you. Atticus, you see it as well, but you see aim-wise, because you're pretty good at judging angles and stuff like that, doesn't look like it's going to hit you. It looks like it's going to blow away your cover. And what we get is a 31 versus your guard.
No, yeah, it's definitely not good. Of course it hits my guard.
And is that 10 over?
Of course it is.
So as you get hit with this beam, it hits you, and you also are so kind of blown back by it that it actually blows your arm back a little bit, and your blast basher goes flying back about 15 feet. That is. Oh, and then the stalker itself moves back about 40 feet to get into a little bit better, more defensive range.
It's a fast board.
Or 30 feet. Sorry. What is the speed on this thing? Yeah, 30. Sorry. I built the thing. I should probably know its darn speed. That's the end of that. Goes back up to the top of the order with Aruna.
Aruna yelps in pain, as Gorons do. Kind of like the Minecraft noise. And hurts. So, taking the full brunt of that laser, he realizes his rock disguise is not as good as he thought it could have been. So he ceases rock form, and for the first time really gets a good look at this random man who has joined the fray, but quickly doesn't question it because he's helping.
Yeah.
Not many people would charge into a Guardian fight. And
yeah. You're part, like, in the back of your head, you're slightly questioning his sanity.
But then I realize I'm questioning my own sanity, so it works out.
Yeah. You're like, is he crazy? Wait a minute.
Yes, he is, but so am I.
So,
Zulta's still protecting Jerry.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So it's
Yes, imp. That's exactly what it is.
I got knocked back. What'd you say? 15 or 20 feet?
15 feet.
15 feet. All right. Yeah.
It was an arbitrary number, but it turned out to be exactly how far back
All right.
Atticus was. So I thought it'd be funny if his cover came to him. And technically, the cover worked. You didn't get hit by the I-beam.
Yeah.
Good job.
So from what you can tell,
it was all
cover
intuition.
works. Yeah.
Yeah. If it didn't, that means it would have bored right through me, and that would have been a problem. So
then we'd be having a different discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, and I totally forgot. I'll do it next turn. I've done enough this turn. There's this thing in Open Legends where bosses get extra actions that I always forget about.
We don't need to worry about that. I'm gonna.
This isn't a boss. Don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just gonna go up to. Yeah, I'm just gonna to go 30 feet towards the Guardian.
Okay.
And throw a bomb. Aiming for the same spot because that seemed to work, kind of.
Sure.
I would like to assist that by like adding electricity to the bomb when it reaches the Guardian.
Okay. Before you do that, Kira, you had a question?
I did. How big are these bombs exactly?
So I'm throwing like a hand bomb. So it
Yeah,
fits
so
in
how
the palm
big-
of my
oh,
hand,
dang.
but it's a big hand.
Yeah,
So it's
okay.
probably about the size of your head.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
don't have anything smaller than that, right?
I probably.
Elias
do, but I'm not using
Aruna
it.
has been shown to just reach into this bag and pull out all sorts of different bombs.
I
In
like that.
in my
bag from
time
Harry
with
Potter.
this lovely Goron, being the observant person that I am, have I possibly noticed something that might have been maybe the size of my fist?
I think you've actually given out a small hand bomb to someone else.
I
Yeah,
think it
Like
was
grenade
to
size.
Kiri.
I've
Oh, cool.
probably given bombs to someone, and I size them based on the size person, and most people are
Okay.
smaller than me. So
I'm fairly certain I remember Aruna just handing one to Kess. It was a large bomb for Kess, but it was probably quite small for Aruna.
So
I imagine by
I see your
the amount of
sizist
time
jokes.
we've spent, you notice that I have smaller
Judge me
bombs,
by
so,
my
yeah.
size?
do you? So looking at a screenshot of a Guardian Stalker
Mm-hmm.
and using my own logic, but would like to apply this logic, could it possibly be that Kess has noticed that the swivel joint the head seems to be on is about one could possibly wedge something in and possibly dislodge it?
You're not sure about dislodging the entire thing, but you definitely see a joint there, and you know how joints work.
But like, would it be fair to say that that's about the size
Sure.
that one could easily wedge something of about that? All
I
right.
wouldn't say easily.
Well, not
but,
easily, but you know, like it's not gonna like
You think it's possible? You think it's very
place
possible?
it and it will roll out, or more like
No, you think you could jam it in a way that it wouldn't go anywhere.
Okay.
So going back to this, I'm going to have an energy roll from Zulta first. Aruna, as you sit there and you hurl a bomb, you watch Aruna sit there and shoot lightning towards the bomb.
I have lightning powers.
And
I do better without having advantage on things.
gotcha.
I got a 19.
19. Okay. So if he rolls if he actually hits, I will have you roll some extra damage.
I would also like to take the time now to appreciate Imp in my head suggestion. And Zolta is definitely like going, hello, hello. I'm your cherry bomb.
Aw. I love this group. Every episode.
As Elias just melts inside. All right, Aruna, make your attack roll.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Well, that's not great.
Do better.
It's not high enough. It's 11.
All right, you choose. I choose.
I'm gonna do
Or
3 damage.
fail. 3 damage. Cool. So as you sit there and you throw it, it goes a little bit wide. It impacts the body of the guardian instead of the kind of swivel eye. However, it is charged with additional electricity. So in addition to the 3 damage you are going to do, I would like you to roll 1d8, or actually just roll just your energy dice, not the d20, just whatever your energy dice would be.
Okay.
I believe
9.
it should be 6 for you. Okay. Cool. So it does a grand total of 12 damage.
Okay.
If you got a 9, right?
Yes.
Okay. There's a grand total of 12 damage, which requires me to actually do math. All right. So as it explodes, you also see kind of this tiny little lightning storm, and lightning just kind of travels all over this creature, and it kind of shakes and jiggles as it does that. However, it turns towards you, Aruna, and you see just this incredibly bright flash that I think that is... I have to actually check if that is less than 3 for Bane.
Is it blinded?
Yeah, that's power level 5. Never mind.
Yeah, it is.
You're set on fire. It shoots a beam, sets you on fire. You'll
The
take it.
trick is spreading.
Yeah.
No, now we know it's not a trick.
But he is close to the man on fire.
No.
Not anymore. I ran
This Goron's on fire.
Oh.
So were you on fire before? I can't remember. No, I disarmed you before.
Yeah, my blast basher is kind of far away from me at this point.
Okay. So that's the end of that. We are going to go to Atticus. Your cover has moved and is now on fire.
And running towards the guardian.
Damn. All right. And that thing moved back too. The guardian moved back away from us.
Yes, you were about 15 feet away from it. You're now about 45 feet.
Wonderful. What's the range on something that's close ranged?
Close ranged. Which one are you talking to?
My whip.
Whip. I'm going to say 10 feet.
10 feet. Okay.
Technically, close range means you need to be within 5 feet. I treat a whip as like a weapon with reach in D&D. So in this, I just give it an extra 5 feet.
Okay. Also, in my last turn, did I miss by more than? Did I miss by more than 5?
I have to actually look at your roll. No,
I rolled the 15.
You only missed by 3.
Okay, that's real good.
Yeah. Otherwise, worse things happen.
Yes, I want to run up towards it, but we're in a canyon, right?
Yes, but it's a very wide, like I said, like 100 feet wide. It's a really wide canyon.
And which side is which side is Kess on?
Kess, do you want to be on the west or the east?
Muted.
You were muted.
Am I?
No,
No, you're not.
She cut out when she said it.
Oh, okay. So which one? West.
West side, west coast, best coast.
All right. She's on the west side, which is the same side as the Guardian.
Oh,
all right. So
okay, cool.
That's what I assumed, is you wanted to be in a place where you could actually do something.
Yeah,
Being
that's
100
also
feet
how
away from the Guardian.
the DM gets back at someone saying West Side, West Side.
She's 100 feet away.
No, you're close to the west side too. She's 25 feet up in the air, is what it is.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to just run in kind of in her direction.
Okay. That's only about
like
15 feet away.
Yeah. But like kind of up to get towards like I'd be going around the side of the, if I were to keep running to be around, like to go around the side of the Guardian. And while I'm doing that, can I please use my major action to reload that thing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So you guys watch as he just makes a bolt for the wall and looks like he's kind of trying to flank the Guardian, if I'm hearing your description correctly.
Yeah.
Okay. So it looks like he's trying to kind of get around the Guardian. He goes underneath where Kess is, and Kess, you watch, you like eagle eye
What you doing?
him, and you watch him as he sits there and takes out an expended cylinder out of it, and you watch him as he puts in another thing, and then you see him fill it with some sort of powder, and then he kind of checks it over again and readies himself.
And I don't know how it works in Open Legends, but can I like ready my whip? Can I like put that away and like ready my whip for my next?
Oh my gosh, he's Indiana Jones.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how it works here versus like D&D.
Generally, you can only interact with an object once on your turn because it's a minor action.
Gotcha.
So you could basically holster the hand cannon, and then on your next turn you could just pull out the whip.
Okay. Then I want to holster that. Do I know that Kess has a hook shot? Did I see her like shoot?
I mean,
you
I'm
watched her
right
shoot
now.
something. You've never seen something like that.
Yeah.
But you definitely saw she has some sort of technology.
I want to, if I can, I would like to, as I'm sprinting, I would like to kind of turn up if I can see her and yell at her, "Hey, go for its legs, all right?"
What? But fair.
Its legs, go for its legs.
So,
Damn it, I had other
Kess,
plans.
you hear him say, "Go for its legs."
Can anyone else
Cool.
hear that?
He yells it.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm assuming you have no telepathic powers. I don't remember your character sheet perfectly.
I
no.
do have telekinesis, but not telepathy. That's a lie.
We're talking about characters, not real life guys. That ends Atticus's turn. Kess, you're up.
Can I use my scavenger perk to possibly find one of the many bombs I'm sure that has been around in my traveling with Aruna, possibly that has made its way into my bag?
I did give her a bomb at one point.
To be
At one
perfectly
point, I
honest,
don't remember if I used it, so I'm like,
it would not surprise me if just randomly while traveling you were saying something and Aruna's like, "Oh, you could use a bomb for that," and just gave you one. You're like,
I just sort of feel like
"Sure," and put it away.
Pretty sure
Party-
something like that happened.
but I'm also fairly certain that like with Aruna, it's like bombs are like bobby pins. You find them freaking everywhere.
Yeah.
Super quick tangent. The guy in charge of Zelda Universe, Cody, he leaves his ZU business cards with everyone at all times. Like he sneaks them into backpacks and behind cell phone covers. And so I'm imagining Aruna does the same thing, but with explosives.
Bombs. You're like about to go to bed. There's something really lumpy in your pillow, and you're like, "What the, Aruna?"
So yes,
this is not for sleeping.
Let's say because of your scavenger perk, you are not someone that generally throws away things. You are someone that even something dangerous like a bomb, you would find a way to hold on to it.
I mean, that also requires proper removal. Like you can't just toss a bomb in a trash can. That's not how this works.
Aruna begs
well, you can.
Okay, but
things happen when you do that.
There are proper procedures.
So you got a bomb.
I got a bomb.
Got a bomb.
Does a scavenger perk count as a major action, or?
I'm gonna say we're just gonna call that a minor.
Okay. So I can't move yet, though, right?
If you want to move, you either have to let go of the wall and start dropping, or you can lower yourself down. Letting go of the wall is a free action. Lowering yourself down to the ground would be your movement.
Okay.
However, if you were to
How
start
far is the
dropping-
thing from me?
Let's say from where you are, and just because of how it moved, let's say it's about 25 feet, because you were closer to it than most other people, and it
Okay.
kind of moved laterally for you instead of.
So if I were to
Everyone else.
drop, if that's a free action, could I then potentially use my hook shot to do a move action and then still have a major action?
Yes, it'll be
Okay.
difficult because you're doing it while falling, but it's still possible. It'll look super badass too.
Can I attach to the guardian? Is that a thing my hook shot can do?
You can try.
I gotta get the bomb in, you guys.
You, I'm gonna say you can certainly try. You think you can see a spot where your hook shot would
I am
land?
unfortunately that person who, when you say it's like a 1 in a 1 million chance, who will go, so you're saying there's a chance.
Yep.
Gonna do it.
So I'm going to also use one of my legend points and pray to whatever god I believe in.
Well, before you do that, I'm going to say, because this is rather difficult as you're falling and trying to hit.
So I can't
target.
I can't like land and then do it.
You take falling damage.
Okay.
So I guess you have a choice.
25, aren't I?
Yeah, you have a choice. You can wait till you hit the ground and take the falling damage and then do this without a penalty, or you can do it while you're in the air and it'll be at disadvantage too, which you can negate with legend points.
How much would fall damage be from 25 feet?
Generally I do a d6 per 10 feet.
Oh, okay. You know what?
I don't know if that's open legends, but that's for what hit points you have. That's not a bad.
I have like 4 legend points right now.
Must be nice.
So, well, break the DM more. Stop being sassy, Kiri.
Watch how quickly the DM unbreaks.
I know. I'm sorry. What?
So what do you want to do? Come on.
I'm going to do it midair because it seems more badass.
Cool.
I'm going to use 2 of my things to negate your disadvantage.
All right. Straight up logic roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
31.
31. That misses, unfortunately. Yeah, of course.
I would cry. I would straight up cry.
This is I'm gonna treat this so what do you want to happen? What do you want to happen?
I would like to fall enough that I can attach to it so that I am close. Basically, I'm pulled close enough that I can just like wedge that bomb literally between its head and its body under that joint. So when that bomb goes off, it's going to logically at least damage the joint, if not possibly stop the swiveling.
Okay, cool.
Is the goal, or at least to
are you going
greatly?
to stay attached to it, or are you going to drop?
I would like to try to drop after it's wedged, but I also understand it might not be possible.
No, that's absolutely fine. So what happens is you guys watch as Kess lets go of the wall. She starts falling, and she sticks her hook shot out, and you see it go boom. It attaches to the guardian. She flies forward, and Aruna, you see something that just makes you very proud.
I was about to say, I use my assist action to cheer her on for using a bomb.
If you had said that before she made the roll, she would have had advantage on it.
Oh no! It's okay, I got a 31 anyway.
So you shove the bomb in there. As you do it, you realize that all these bombs have wicks, and they have basically kind of like a road flare. They have a thing that you go off that sets the wick off. As you shove it in there, you set the wick off. You realize that not the greatest place in the world to be, and you guys watch as Kess falls. Unfortunately, falling does give you a little bit of damage. You're not quite as high off, so it's only going to be 1d6.
It's slightly slanted. Does that count? It's like sliding down its butt.
Well, you take 1 damage, so
Ow.
I mean.
And
Zordon calls
I've
you.
heard that sound, and I have to go. Totally not related at all.
Oh no!
Starts talking to her wrist for some odd reason.
Okay,
I
that's
love
fair.
my phone. So yeah, you fall to the ground and kind of roll about 5 feet away. As you get there, you take
Tuck
1
and
point of
roll.
damage. And then you guys watch as an explosion happens on the creature. It does take, it actually takes damage from that against its, I'm actually going to say its toughness, which is slightly lower. So I have to do math. You rolled high enough that you can actually inflict a bane. So is there a bane that you want to inflict that is logic based? Or agility based, because your logic and agility are the same thing.
So curious about that. I know it doesn't have nerves, but technically its joint kind of is. Can I use the nerve strike?
Which is an incapacitate.
Which would
I'm
be
going to say
very...
this would make sense.
Yay!
For an incapacitate bane. So first I have to do math.
I'm sorry.
2 and... Ooh, that's the wrong one. Yes. So you watch as the creature itself, as the explosion happens, you watch as the kind of swiveling head goes at a very awkward angle. And the creature itself, you can see, is kind of like, if you've ever seen a machine or anything that something is blocking it from doing what it's supposed to do, and it has that kind of clicking Normally
I hate that sound, but right now I'm very proud of making it.
So yeah, you watch as the thing, and currently it is incapacitated.
Anything can be a smoke machine if you use it wrongly enough.
I like that.
That was the motto of my car 2 weeks ago.
Oh no!
Oh.
We have a new car.
So yeah, that's everything. You have used every ability that you have, every action that you have. We're going to go.
I'm satisfied with my work here.
Zulta.
First, take another 2 damage, Guardian, because we're persistently damaged, right?
The Guardian actually takes that damage at the beginning of his turn, not yours.
Well, then I'll roll again. Maybe it'll be higher. Everything's fine. I'm gonna electrocute it in its eyeball.
Okay. You do have to, because it moved. You're going to have to move forward in order to get.
I'm fine with that. I have.
Wait, no, you have a 50-foot
can't
range
move right.
Or no, you only have a 25-foot range on your electricity.
Yeah, my electricity is not as great as my death energy, but it'll be fine.
Machines and death energy just don't seem to have the same relationship.
Yeah. 14. Like lightning.
So again, just miss, or you choose one, I choose one.
Yeah, I'm going to just miss, be like, hit the wall, go, God damn it, and walk away.
This is especially silly because it stopped moving.
Oh, yeah.
Should I have had an advantage on that?
Yeah, let's go ahead and give you advantage 1. Just because I don't know if incapacitated actually gives that, but I'm going to say for right now, sure.
Thank you, Jody.
That advantage gave me an 18.
That's actually just enough. However, the incapacitated bane at level 5 ends on anything from like a slight nudge damage. So it will no longer be damaged. However, the way incapacitated works is if you are incapacitated, anyone that any attack that hits you can be what's called a lethal attack, which kills you. So the way for this to work is you roll a d20 and you have to roll higher than 10 plus the damage of the attack. Since you hit 18 in the eye, I'm going to double the damage. So the least amount of damage you can do is 3. So that turns into 6. So it needs to roll a, I believe it's a fortitude roll against your against a DC of 16. So
low rolling. Come on.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, I didn't even think we were there yet.
You weren't supposed to be.
To say,
incapacitated.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Can I say exactly
You're welcome.
Guardian dead thing now.
And because of that, Kiri, do you have any input you would
like to insist in this?
Yeah.
Any input into how
Again, this is just flavor text, so get as crazy as you want.
All right. So how are you going at paint me a word picture.
I was creating this attack. I literally have named Lightning Ball of Death. So I'm like taking all my electricity and creating this orb of just like lightning sparks going back and forth and making fun things and just hurling it at the eye of the Guardian.
Okay. Well, considering it was sort of incapacitated, I feel that beautiness should hit it in the eye and thus kind of send it boom, 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 and explode in a blaze of electricity.
But before that happens, we need that anime scene of the lightning getting closer and brighter until it just all whites out, and then there's an explosion that you see from far away, and then it comes back in.
It's a super wide shot from above the canyon.
And then as the dust settles, I would like to just calmly turn to Atticus and say, we went a different route.
Works for me.
Okay, Kiri, you broke it down.
Like blowing stuff up.
I just feel like it was like he just told me to do something. I blatantly ignored it, and it ended up somehow being a kill shot. So I feel the need for the sass of just. We went into
wow. So yes, Imp. That was what I thought. Imp just goes carpet. Zap. She just shuffles her feet. As she's shuffling her feet, the static electricity builds. So you sit there and you form. You guys watch as Zulta kind of gets this fire in her eyes, and you hear this. You hear this, and she gets hair somehow, and it turns yellow.
Just bigger and bigger.
Gets longer and longer, and eventually gets to the point where it gets shorter again and turns blue, but then starts getting longer again.
And it's
for
just
no explicable reason
ridiculous.
other than they keep adding more and more powerful bad guys, and they have to have a way to differentiate that they get more.
So, to be fair, when it does turn blue, it starts looking like my fin head again anyways. So, you know.
A massively long fin head now.
Yeah.
And then she sits there and her eyes are all angry, and you get the close up on her eyes, and then she goes, oh, and then I can't speak Japanese at all other than watashi
before.
And she fires it, and the other thing, the Guardian Stalker has an internal monologue where he goes, I have done my duty. If I die today, I know.
Cutscene to the ball coming forward. Cutscene back.
I see its like little red eye, like looking up slightly, widening. Boom.
Single electric tear. Do androids dream of electric sheep? We don't know.
Oh, wow.
And gets blown back, explodes into many pieces. Or the head explodes. The body is, for the most part, intact. And then 2 of the 4 legs kind of break off because of the rolling and everything. And yeah, single action takes 5 minutes to die. Yes, exactly.
Nope.
Be glad it's not the musical episode, because the Guardian Stalker would have a song.
But would die before being able to finish it, because that's the rule.
No, let's be very glad this isn't DBZ, because this Guardian battle wouldn't even be happening. We would still be on the initial Hyrule field fight.
Oh, and
there is no lie.
You have a legend point from Pat Week.
Oh, thank you, Pat Week, for feeling sorry for me.
Didn't I get one? I got a legend point last game that we didn't count, right?
Oh,
Sure.
that reminds me. I got 5 legend points a week ago.
No, I'm pretty sure one of the.
Watch how quickly this next dungeon.
I'm pretty sure last game I got like 30 legend points. So you know.
No, I have a
And
message
the Guardian
from
Stalker
Jodie about
gets
it.
back up headless, and a new head grows.
I have a message from Jodie about it somewhere.
Yes, you have a legend point. I think that was
Cool.
purchased.
Thank you very much.
I try to keep the alerts up. I have like 7 different windows up right now. So if I miss your alert, I will find it. It's just one of those things where I have so many things going on, and combat is especially bad because I also have to keep track of initiative. All right, so back to this. As the smoke is still coming out of this destroyed creature, you guys can kind of smell that acrid, kind of almost like plastic burning, acidic smell from the formerly Guardian Stalker, now Guardian Pile of Junk.
Everyone just hears like a happy sigh from Kess and, aw, memories.
Yeah, you're actually, the first thing that makes you think of is you start looking for burns on your fingers.
Well, I'm good.
You're like,
Okay.
oh no, I didn't cause it this time.
Iruna is, while he's putting out the fire on himself.
Yes.
Tuck and roll.
Is extremely impressed with everyone. Zolta for just annihilating a guardian. He now considers her a guardian killer. Kess for using a bomb. Atticus.
These are very
showing up
different.
out of nowhere and using an explosive thing.
Yes,
And
there was an explosion involved.
Then he remembers. Wait a minute.
Also, very proud of Pierre for being so put together and quiet during
That's
this.
what I was saying. And then remembers, wait a minute. Wasn't Pierre here? Why didn't Pierre help? Where's Pierre?
Pierre was running recon. He was ensuring that no other Guardian Stalkers were going to attack you guys simultaneously.
Does it look like it's like not going to do any more explosion-y things at this point in time?
Yes, it's smoking, but there's nothing that would indicate more explosion.
Can I like creep closer and see if there's any parts that are worth liberating?
Make a logic check for me.
While she's doing that, I'm going to go get
Priorities.
Blast Basher.
Yep, the Blast Basher. Because it hit the ground, I am going to have you choose even or odd.
Even.
As you get over there, it is damaged.
Oh, no.
And you will have to spend a little bit of time repairing it before you can use it again.
Okay.
16.
Nothing that hasn't happened before, but 16 for your logic roll. Going through, you find a few gears. You find some circuits that obviously were designed to facilitate magical energy kind of flowing through. There's not any magic energy flowing through them right now, but you think that would probably be something that's useful to you.
So cool.
Something that can transfer magic energy from one location to another. So you get, I'm going to say you get 4 1-foot-long devices, things that you can use that are designed to allow magic energy to transfer through them. Basically wires.
While that's happening, Atticus kind of walks over to this group that he doesn't know and goes, well, I thought y'all needed help, but looks like y'all had that in the bag.
Yes, we did. Thank you.
Mysterious stranger.
Well, you're the second mysterious stranger we met. But thank you for trying. You have a really cool thing, by the way. It's like a mini.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How did you set yourself on fire?
Yeah, you like.
Why don't you ask your Goron friend the same thing?
Oh, I got on fire because I was shot really badly. I'm really hurt right now.
I just do that when I'm mad.
Oh.
Okay, and how do you do this?
I don't
need
really
the
know.
instructions.
I don't know. Haven't figured it out yet.
All right, Zolta is going to spend some time like trying to get mad and seeing what happens.
That's just normal Zelda.
Yeah.
Have we seen any sign of Pierre from reporting back of any guardians or?
Yes, but he seems surprisingly quiet right now, and will probably continue to be quiet for another 25 minutes.
But did he, in his silence, either confirm or deny more up ahead or not, or?
He didn't say that there are any more.
Okay.
Not that like this will help me that much.
He's more looking behind you.
But can I also look at the guardian thing and scavenge for parts that might be useful for me?
Squint at him suspiciously.
You can. Go ahead and roll me a learning check.
I look behind me just in case Pierre sees another guardian behind me.
12.
Okay. As you kind of start going through it, one thing that becomes blatantly obvious to you, whatever it is that makes your hand cannon work, is completely different than the technology that is present in this stalker.
Great.
And there's nothing in it that you could use for your hand cannon.
Cool.
Well,
you do get some side eye from the Sheikah.
Kind of like Linux versus Mac.
I've given up
trying to put it in
angry.
terms I can understand. Thank you,
I've pulled out Jerry and I'm talking to him and just like seeing how he's doing.
Is Jerry still alive?
Jerry, slightly singed, still alive.
Wow.
Yes, Jerry is of course still alive.
Hardy lizard.
Be fair, Jodie.
Zulta didn't get attacked because I forgot to use the boss action, and that's the last time I forget to use a boss action for you guys.
That went much better than I thought it would.
Through the damn incapacitate. There are going to be monsters that are immune to incapacitate. I'm going to let you know right now. Miss my hook shot kills everything.
I didn't kill it with the hook shot.
One day I will learn how to drain life energy out of inanimate objects.
Out of my hook shot? What?
No, out of things like guardians.
They're animate objects, though.
The guardian is clearly android. Okay,
not always animate.
Get a legend point.
Who gets
that? Was
point?
funny.
Imp?
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Imp, yes. One of the audience members that.
So Aruna is just gonna sit down, and while he's basically regaining hit points, he's gonna try and fix up his blast basher just with. The
okay,
materials.
make I believe it's a logic check to fix it.
19.
Yeah. Again, it's happened before. You put a couple springs back into place. Everything, it's working.
Is there anything?
Takes
else
you about
in
10 minutes to do it.
Cool, and I got a hand bomb.
Is there anything else in this canyon that we're in?
From the fact that you are very familiar with this region just from patrolling it so often, at the end of this canyon, there is a place that's known as the Forgotten Temple, and it is not a safe place. Other than that, the canyon is kind of known just to be every so often. There are some guardian wrecks in the canyon. They've never done anything before. They've just been there. So this is the first time you've ever seen a guardian get up and start moving and stuff like that. Since before the Great Calamity, when they actually were helpful.
All right, I kind of turn to the group and say, "So let me guess. Y'all are heading over to the temple. I wouldn't suggest that. I mean, y'all look like you can handle yourselves, but it's dangerous down there."
Are there more guardians?
I mean, there's some like dead ones, but this one started moving around, so who knows if those will too.
See, I'm confused about that too, because I'm from here too, and I'm used to seeing wrecked guardians everywhere, but lately they've been alive, and it's been very scary and concerning. and I don't know.
And also
why.
kind of cool.
Not cool at all. So I don't know.
I
what's
put
going
Harry on my shoulder.
And then like holding up wires. So
I guess wires are cool, but a live guardian is cool.
Go ahead and roll me a learning check again, Atticus. And see how much you know about the history of this place. Again, because you would have been around.
For me, that's a straight 11.
11. This will be cool. You know a fair amount about the Forgotten Temple. You know that the reason it's called the Forgotten Temple is it used to be above ground, and over thousands of years there was some seismic activity that actually buried the temple. And a little while before the calamity, a couple decades, they had started excavating. They had found it, and it was for the most part intact inside.
So really, it should be named the most recently re-remembered temple.
Yeah, sure. Let's go name them over names. That's exactly what you should do. I sense disadvantage.
You think I'm funny?
Damn it. I'm drooling now. Take a legend point, Cass. By the way, if you subscribe to my Twitch channel, I have an emote that is "You broke the DM." So self-promotion sellout. Back to this. You actually know when the Great Calamity happened, everyone went looking for a safe place to hide from the Guardians, from Calamity Gad and everything. The Forgotten Temple was one of those places. You know this because you went there to protect people. You are the only person that, after the dust had settled, left.
Out of your job.
Because everyone else is dead?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
So he's really
You know
bad
significantly more about exactly what happened in there, but it was, without giving too much away to the rest of the party, it was a life-changing experience.
Okay, so would you say that I, Atticus, would be like, don't go, don't be going over there?
There, the phrase that comes to mind is there are worse things than guardians in the dark places of the world.
I turn to the group and say, there are worse things than guardians in the dark places of the world.
Like what?
Worse things.
Like,
Okay, I'm gonna need you to be just a little bit more specific.
I would love to be more specific.
Like, open up my notebook, just for.
So this is your choice, because we are literally writing part of his backstory live, folks, because he has no idea that this is part of his backstory. But it fits with the backstory that we did come up with. So I will let you choose how much you want to reveal. I will tell you the stuff that you would be revealing is very much like traumatic enough to cause PTSD-like symptoms. Like seriously, you saw horrors that you never want to remember again.
Then
were they that bad?
Have you waking up
horrors.
in cold sweats.
Okay.
Then I don't want to reveal a whole lot. I would
Okay.
just say, to the group, like,
I'll shoot you a message after the game is over and tell you exactly the nightmares that you have. But
all right, yeah. Then I kind of just turn, and like shake my head and say, just trust me. You don't want to go down there.
so the things that are worse than guardians are in the temple.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Huh.
Are they also mechanical?
no.
less interested.
Are we? Are we? How far are we from the temple? By the way, what's your name?
I go by Atticus. What is your name, large rock fella?
Oh, my name's Iruna.
Please just keep calling him Large Rock Fella.
I will do that, ma'am.
But I have a name. And it's Iruna.
And your name is Large Rock Fella.
But that's not my name.
And Atticus turns to who set off the first bomb?
Technically, Aruna was the first one to use a bomb, and he had it attached to this weird.
Minus that. Who like did the whole like bad? That was Kess, right?
That was Kess, yeah.
That was the tiny one.
I turned to Kess and I'm like,
she comes up like to your nipples.
Interesting choice.
I look. Interesting height measurement.
You know what, though? As someone who stands a great 5 feet tall, you see a lot of people's sternums.
Yep.
I look down and I'm like, that was some nice work with those bombs, ma'am. Are you a explosives technician?
Iruna's very interested to hear the answer.
These are words I've never heard before.
It's a ... In a way.
I didn't know that.
Not on purpose.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
Thank you.
Hey,
Aruna, can I have another one of those, actually?
Oh, sure. And I just hand her the same.
So
Kess size bomb.
He yells pack mule. I get it.
Yes, strange man.
Pack mule.
Yes, he is.
Like the horse-looking things. Because I'm not a horse.
This way.
You know what mules are.
Okay. All right.
They have mules.
Yeah, I didn't know if I knew they were called pack mules or.
They have horses.
Okay.
All a mule is.
I like Aruna playing dumb just to play dumb.
Breed between a horse and a donkey.
I'm not a mule. I'm a Goron.
He's our pack Goron. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I do pack a lot of things.
And you do it quite well.
My bag
like packing heats.
My bag holds a lot of bombs and bomb-related things and explosive-related things.
That's nice.
Yes, it is. I'm glad I found someone who agrees.
I would like to point at the cool device that is so a gun. I mean, like, that was cool.
Yeah, that was really
It's technically
cool.
It's underneath his duster. He has basically.
Well, so we're gonna awkwardly point then.
Yeah. You're just gonna point. He just points at your chest and goes, "That was cool."
That was really cool.
I told you I don't know how I light on fire like that. I just get mad.
No. The thing in your hand.
I don't know what you're talking about. There ain't nothing in my hands.
It was in your hand, and then you pulled it out, and you aimed it like
as we now undress it.
And then there was like an explosion in your hand, but it didn't blow you up. It like propelled a thing forward. It was really cool, but I think it missed, so that was unfortunate. But it was really cool.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be grateful to have Aruna nearby to make sure I'm sane, but you know what? I'm taking it.
It's not a whole lot different from those bombs you guys are using, honestly.
It's a little cooler. But it looks
it also breaks a lot, so and misses a lot.
I know all about that. I just had to fix my own little bomb puncher thing.
See, at least you can do that. When mine breaks, it takes a while, a long time to fix. I'm not so good with machines and things.
You should use the fire more.
I don't know. I could take a look at it. I could, I figure things out pretty well.
That's okay. I'll hang on to it. For right
so
Cass is entirely disappointed.
Just radiant.
But I know who to come to if it breaks again.
Oh,
I mean, whatever. That's cool.
That reminds me, Cass. Didn't you say you wanted to see the blast basher when it broke, and then when I fixed it? Because I forgot about that till just now. But
Well, let me know next time.
Well, this is what I did, and I just pull it out and quickly show her what broke and how I fixed it.
You re-break it and then fix it again?
yeah, actually, yeah. Let's do that. See, this is how it broke, and I just do it again.
You just throw it on the ground. Yeah, actually, that's pretty close.
Before I do that, I take out the loaded bomb that I put in there.
That would have been even better. Throw it on the ground, explosion.
This is how it broke.
And then I just put the springs here and realigned it, and that's how I fixed
it. Aggressive learning is woo.
So, Atticus.
So again, Kess, one of the things that before you start the conversation with Atticus, one of the things that again kind of impresses you is Aruna. The way he presents himself is very kind of simple, but as he sits there and he repairs the device and everything like that, you can tell that he's an incredibly intelligent and mechanically inclined individual. And you've kind of had that hint that there's more to him intellectually than he kind of gives off. And now you've actually seen proof that he probably is close tech-wise and technology knowledge-wise is probably on the level with you as far as, you know, the ability to create items and manage them and things like that. He's pretty close. So
if this was a BioWare game, our relationship bar just went up.
Kind of relationship bar.
plus friendship, not like that.
Well, I only worried because you said BioWare game, and those go in all sorts.
No, that's right. I am a non-romanceable character.
I don't think you're
you can get level 5 affection, and then it ends, like the conversation just ends, like they forgot to write the end of.
No, you can still talk to me. We'll just it'll be like, you know, when I was trying to romance Morrigan as a woman, and then by the end she's like, "You're such a great sister," and I was like, I did not see that coming.
Not what I was going for.
Gay lady problems.
At least it's better than when you're trying to romance, and I can't remember her name, but the shooty one in the girl, and she's gay, and I was a male, and so she goes.
Were you trying to romance Sarah? Because I feel like she is so obviously gay.
I didn't get that until I was trying to romance her, and I got the option, and she's like, "No, but you're like a man."
I had a friend who was very surprised Dorian was gay, and I was like, "Bitch, really?"
But you're the coolest character. So I made a female inquisitor just so I could romance Sarah. She's the coolest character in the game. All right, back to this. I loved Sarah. Our love was real.
Really digital.
So anyway, you were going to talk to Atticus.
I was just gonna ask, how far is the temple from here? Because it sounds like you've been there.
Do I know that? I would.
Yeah, it's less. You guys are really, really close. You could get there in a few hours.
It's about a few hours away, but again, I highly suggest that you do not go there.
Well, because
suggestion has been noted. Let's go.
Well, we're looking for a
You're
place.
starting to realize that Kess doesn't tend to take your suggestions very well.
Yeah.
Go for the legs.
They've been
goes
noted.
For eye. Don't go to the temple. Goes to temple.
However, you're starting to notice a pattern. You think you might be able to manipulate this. Go to the temple. We're going somewhere else.
Hey, I was right to not go for the legs in this one instance.
Do you also know if a lot of people died there?
Why would you bring that up?
Well, because that's why we're going here. We're trying to go to a place where a lot of people died.
That's right.
Yes, and you will too.
Oh, well,
especially
I don't want that to happen.
I mean, probably, eventually.
Wait, why especially me?
You seem slow.
Oh,
I'm kind of fast sometimes if I roll. And then I showed him how to roll.
And so now having just witnessed like had some things confirmed and be like, you know what, Aruna will surprise you. Anyway, we're wasting time, and I don't like how exposed we are in this canyon, so let's at least move out of this.
Oh, I guess we're exposed. Yeah. So yeah, and as we start walking, I just try to explain to Atticus like why we're here. It's like, so we're trying to go to this place where a lot of people died because we see these weird
We're super goth
things that are like tears into like other places that are like this place but not really. One of them smelled really bad, and we're trying to like blow up this big tear because we think it'll like be really good for everyone, and we have to
you think one's gonna be in this temple.
Well, someone told us, I don't remember who, that if you go to a place where a lot of people died, that's where the big ones are, and that's where you can stop them. Something like that. It's been a few weeks.
Well, I guess if y'all have made up your minds and you're going, then...
I mean, the plot has to move forward here, Atticus.
Yeah. Well, here's the question, Jodie. Like
a vegetation
how adverse would I be to going to this place again? That's,
That is entirely up to you. You had a life-changing, horrible experience, and from what we discussed in your backstory, I'm going to say that's one of the reasons why you were so protective, because you couldn't protect those people. So you can make the decision of, is your aversion to going back to the place where you couldn't protect people enough to say, I'm not doing this again? Or
I let the dice make the decision.
Okay.
Character moment.
Well, if y'all are gonna go, then I guess I'll tag along as well. Make sure that nobody does anything stupid or nobody gets killed.
We're only gonna get close enough until we see a big tear. But we've never seen one before, so we're kind of just looking for a bigger version of what we...
Did you say one of them smelled really bad?
I said one of the other places we went to smelled really bad. Yeah.
Interpret that as a character if you'd like to.
That is verbatim what he said.
Atticus doesn't say anything. He just follows along.
But did we figure out how to close the tear? Because we're gonna find it and then be like, well.
I think
you haven't figured it out yet, but Brayak seemed to think
was throwing a big bomb in there.
Yeah, but Brayak's whole identity was based off of vase-breaking puns. I don't know how much.
Brayak, from the conversation you guys had with him, he'd been doing this for a while. He felt that since you guys could move between realms, you would have some singular ability to affect these wounds. He mentioned that he tried to close one on his own and he couldn't, but there's 4 of you, so there's a better chance that you can do it when he couldn't. So that's what you have been told thus far. He didn't go into specifics about how he tried to close the wound, so you have no idea.
Well, clearly we need some interdimensional needles and thread.
I guess
you can pick that up at like any CVS, right?
CVS.
Definitely.
Okay.
What's a CVS?
When you're really hard up, Joanne's might have it.
I mean,
I think I met it.
I feel like
but you have to go through like aisles and aisles of like fabric, and half of them.
Oh my gosh, the fabric of time area is so big. It's ridiculous. It takes forever to get through.
Takes a lot of time, you might say.
Oh my gosh.
You've gotten enough legend points for today. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on.
You're just waiting to see if
it does not give you legend points.
I have
Not
feathers
quite
on my
enough.
head. Oh, okay, fine.
Yes, you do. I don't know when it happened, but it's there.
However,
I'm a very
just
fancy
said
lady.
Kess goes to Radio Chica, and that is amazing.
Yeah.
Imp is going to have more
Deserves
legend
a lot
points
of
than
legend
players
points.
in a second here.
Imp is a
might take
curiosity.
Imp
Can I get a donation?
Imp is a friend of mine too. Thank you very much. Though it'll take a little while for Imp to beat me with.
Yeah,
this
but
back.
you always win the poll, so you don't need extra.
I
legend
didn't
points.
win this week.
Oh wow, 1 week where you didn't win must be tough.
It's been 1 week since you won the poll.
So
It's been too long.
Thanks for
Okay.
Atticus
joining us, everyone.
has agreed to
Good night,
accompany
everybody.
you guys. Do you guys want to move forward to the temple?
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, I'd like to be a lot more cautious now that I know there are possibly alive guardians around here for sure.
So I am going to ask the players right now. We have come to what is normally the end of the stream. If nobody has pressing matters, you guys are very, very close to the next section. So if you'd like to stay for an extra, or if you can stay for an extra 20-ish, 30 minutes, we can continue and get you guys actually to the Forgotten Temple, because there's one more thing you guys have to deal with, or we can pick up from this spot next week.
One more fighty thing, or
No, you can take damage, but this is going to be more of a puzzle type thing.
Okay. If it's really
It's
only
not
20
combat.
minutes-
It's not combat.
Yeah,
It won't
if it's
involve
only
initiative.
20 minutes. I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. I got that blood test, so as long as it doesn't turn into a fight that we just
No, it will not be a fight.
This is like
Okay.
the arcade game where you continue and you have to put in another token to keep going. Time token.
Okay, so just to move things along, you guys keep going. The closer you get, Atticus, the worse you start feeling. You start, remembering the first time you led a group, a relatively large group of people into this area. And as you guys get close, you kind of turn the final corner and you see the ruins of the Forgotten Temple, which is set into the back wall. And as you guys are looking, you guys suddenly see kind of
The
a little
Alamo.
pinpoint of light, and then a second, and then a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh, an eighth, a ninth, a 10th. And these lights get brighter and brighter.
Guys,
And-
I think there's 10 guardians up ahead.
Yeah, Aruna, you are kind of the first one, since you're the one that got shot by it the most. First one to go, I know what this is. And you kind of dive out of the way, taking everybody else with you,
Yeah, I would like to hide behind Aruna.
as 10 guardian beams come forward and slam into the spot that you guys were in.
I was really
Preview.
hoping I wasn't right.
And this
And
is
that's
actually
game.
taken
No.
from the game. So you guys dive behind a wall so they can't see you. And once you dive behind the wall, you don't hear additional beams being fired. And you hear no movement. Unlike the last one, where it's very obvious when a Guardian Stalker is moving. Their footfalls are very, very heavy. And
Do
very
I know
rapid.
about this? Have I seen this before, or is this new?
You actually would. You know that there were corpses of Guardians kind of lining the route here. The last time you were here, they were under control by Calamity Ganon, and probably about a third of the people that you were trying to protect fell at this point, because you guys got here and the Guardians followed you. And through creative use of reflection and knocking portions off the canyon wall and stuff like that, you were able to damage them enough for you guys to get into the temple and seal yourselves in, and they didn't seem able to get into the temple. So there's basically 10 legless broken guardians here that when you left the last time, they weren't doing anything. They were broken. Now they're firing beams, but they can't move.
Okay. Well, I kind of communicate that to the rest of the group and turn to Tess and say, "Hey, if you got any more of those bombs, we might be able to blow some stuff off the canyon walls and kind of like block their laser things."
I'd happily, and with a very large smile, turn to Aruna. Hey, Aruna, we got any more bombs?
I have a lot of bombs.
in that knowing smile of like,
Zolta is just like,
hold Aruna's
Of course
beard.
we-
It's about to get crazy.
And can I just say, Cass, I'm really happy that you're really happy about bombs now. It really warms my rocky heart. And I just
used
start pulling out
appropriately.
bomb after bomb and just giving it to Cass, even if she's not ready to take the next one.
So it starts off with like a regular size, like bomb about the size of your head, and then they get bigger, and then some of them have little like gadgets attached to them, and you just by the end you have like 20 bombs, much more than should ever be able to fit into that bag.
I've got a lovely bunch of Goron bombs. Dee-dee-dee. There they are, standing right next to Cass.
I think they're lovely too.
Big
Zoltan.
one,
small one, some as
that'll
big
blow
as
off your head.
So you guys have a nice collection of bombs. If anybody wants to, someone can roll me a perception check to see if they can get the lay of the land between you and
I'll
the
do
temple.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be.
Never mind. Ignore me. Kess is distracted by bombs. She rolled a 9.
Cass is covered in
Every
bombs.
every roll counts in Open
20.
Legends.
20.
So something in Open Legends is every roll counts. So generally, if somebody's going to make a roll, I'm not going to allow multiple people to make the same roll. You never want to feel like you've wasted a roll or something like that. That's why in Open Legend, when you fail, when you don't hit the DC, there's two different things that can happen. You can still succeed, but with a twist, or you can fail, but it moves the story forward. So Kess, with your 9, that is not high enough to meet the DC. However, what ends up happening is you take just a little bit extra time than you really should, and you're singed by one of the beams as it hits you.
Cass, what are you doing?
And you take... I have to roll.
You were gonna get your head shot.
You take 8 damage.
8 damage on my face? That's not a burn, my friend. That's like, I don't have a face anymore.
Sick burn.
Well, all your hit points come back after. You were at full hit points, by the way.
Yeah, I know. But like,
All your hit points come back after like 5 minutes. So none of it's lethal damage.
still. I went from 18 to 10.
Okay, so you got hit square in the shoulder. I'm not going to scar your face. It just
You got a wicked scar across your cheek.
I got a wicked sky, man. Sorry.
It's amazing how
Man, my boy's wicked smart.
Exfoliation.
Atticus,
Atticus,
This
take
micro-
legend points. You have broken
No,
it.
that's not me. That's Imp again.
Was that Imp?
Imp's just racking up his own legend point count.
Yeah.
Damn. Imp, you were just wow.
Oh man.
And when
Yeah,
we
macro
fight,
Imp knows me too well.
Imp will join us.
So just so we keep going, you get a lay of the land. You see that basic, geometry. There are quite a few places where you can kind of like move to areas of cover. However, between the areas of cover are you're going to have to run through the open. But there are ways to kind of leapfrog your way into the temple if you want to go that route. You did notice that again. There are the ravine has started to kind of grow a little bit more rounded. So there's actually like stalactites and stuff. You're not completely covered. There's still in the center light coming through, but there's stalactites and things like that that if you hit them might create more bits of cover, might even damage the guardians. So you have a couple different options. You can try just dodging your way through it. You can try knocking things down to damage the guardians, or you can just make a straight up run and see if you can be faster than their beams. What do you guys want to do?
I'm assuming Kess lets us know this assessment? Or...
Yes.
Okay.
Again, just to speed things along.
How far is the nearest like bit of cover?
30 feet. Like each bit, like effective cover for you guys will be within your movement distance. So everything is going to be roughly about 20 to 30 feet.
So what you're saying, Kess, is that you think we can make each cover without getting hit if we really, really run?
What if we do some kind of distraction? So one of y'all toss one of them bombs out that way, and we run that way.
Okay, and I throw a bomb that way.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
Yeah, you'll learn very quickly. He's very highly suggestible when it comes to bombs.
So you guys watch. Is he throw? What kind of bomb are you throwing, Elias?
Does he just have like an unlimited supply?
Kind of.
Yeah, it's technically it's his energy attribute is what he uses for his bombs. So it's the bomb bag from The Legend of Zelda.
I'm really good at making bombs on the fly.
Yeah.
So I can see that.
It's basically, if you want to get like nitty gritty mechanics, it's basically like he's casting spells, because you would use the same energy attribute to throw fireballs that he uses to throw bombs. So I'm not going to limit him with ammunition, because if he had, been a wizard, he wouldn't have a limit to his ammunition.
I'm a bomb wizard.
He's a bomb wizard.
Good to know.
So yeah, I throw a bomb in whatever direction he was pointing.
And then, do you immediately start running or rolling? I would assume.
Yeah, that was his suggestion. So I'll just throw a bomb, and once it explodes,
you watch Aruna throw a bomb. What kind of bomb is it again?
Just a hand bomb.
Just a hand bomb. Throws a bomb. It explodes in the opposite direction and just starts rolling. And you guys see. Go ahead and roll me a bomb attack.
That was terrible. 5.
One of the Guardians tracks the bomb and shoots where the explosion was. The remaining 9 start tracking Aruna. What do the rest of you guys want to do?
Can we run behind him as cover?
If you would like.
I would like.
Can I use my hook shot to attach to the next bit of cover and just zoom there?
It'll take an attack roll, but yeah.
Okay.
Or a logic roll, basically.
Because my shoulder hurts. Logic. Boom, boom. 14?
It's not a difficult shot.
Okay.
So you're able to get across. You guys watch as Kess goes much faster than Aruna, and Atticus, who's just ducking behind Aruna as these beams are aiming at him and look to be close to firing. Zulta, are you doing anything?
I'm hiding behind Aruna and Atticus.
Okay.
Both of them as cover.
So to make things easy, I am just going to have you guys, each one of you are going to choose even or odd. We will start with Aruna, even or odd?
Even.
That was a nat 20.
That's even.
Yeah, it's even. I'm going to say, because that was a nat 20, Aruna is actually an adequate shield for you guys, and the rest of you guys don't have to worry about it. And you guys make it to this first point of cover without any issue. It looks like there's basically, if you're going to do cover to cover to cover, it looks like there's about 3 more bits of cover you're going to have to do to get to the temple itself. So next one, what do you guys want to do? Trying to make this go as quick as possible. We got about 7 minutes.
I'm just going to go with my logic again, because that worked real well for me.
Sure. Make me a logic roll.
Hope for the best. 20.
That seemed to work.
You watch Kess just go to the next one.
Well, then I'm going to do the same thing and throw a bomb. Wait, Atticus. Where should I throw this bomb?
That way. I point in the opposite direction that Kess just went.
I just throw it in that direction.
Make me an attack roll with a bomb.
A little better. That's 14.
14. Okay. So 4 of the beams focus and obliterate your bomb. And then you start running, I'm assuming?
Dash.
And are you guys keeping with the same thing?
Yeah.
Same plan as before? Yes, no? Say something? Okay,
Yes.
Cool. We'll start with Aruna, even or odd?
Even.
You're good. Zulta, even or odd?
Odd.
You're good too. Atticus, even or odd?
Odd.
You're good too. So again, beams come, they miss you guys just barely. You make it. You've got 2 more. Kess, I'm assuming. You're just gonna keep doing this.
This has worked well for me.
I just looked at
20.
Atticus.
Oh, 2 20s in a row, y'all.
Okay,
Hey,
so she
Runa,
is. Kess is just going ahead of you guys at this point, and she stopped like being like careful about it. Now she's just kind of like she leaps out, does a flip.
Well, yes, I
flies through the air with the greatest ease.
A daring
Yes.
Sheikah on the flying.
You guys sticking to the plan? You gonna try something new?
Hey, large rock man. This time, roll the bomb. Don't throw it. Roll it.
Roll it. Which way?
The other way that she just went. It's not that hard.
Well, I just wanted to check because you're dictating bombs, and then I roll a hand bomb and.
Go ahead and make it with advantage 1 then.
Holy crap!
400,000.
Close enough. Oh my gosh! Wait, I have to do a lot of math here. Okay. It's really high. Okay.
Okay, really high is good enough for me.
It's over.
When you
43.
We're 43. Okay. When you roll the bomb, 9 of the things actually do it. And because you roll the bomb in a certain way, 3 of them get it destroyed by beams of the other ones accidentally hitting them. And I'm going to say that's enough for the confusion and chaos. It creates a lot of smoking explosions. You guys are able to make it to the Forgotten Temple, and Atticus, as you have done once before, you kind of hold up the back, waiting for them to all go in, and as you go in, you ensure that the door seals behind you. And that is where
It was a trap.
we'll pick up next week. I'd like to start off by thanking John, our wonderful guest this week, for being cool and not actually doing anything to the boss.
Thank you for not.
You're going to learn about fighting this week, but not because you're fighting.
Right.
That's some low-level shade you just threw there, sir.
John tolerates me. We'll find out if he wants to. John has a life and things like that. So if you are available for the next session, you are welcome to join us. We will not be able to tell you guys, the audience, if he's going to be here or not, probably till closer to the actual game. But you are welcome to join us again for this little leg of the adventure.
That would be awesome.
John, if people wanted to find you in the internet or see other things that you do, where would they look?
They can't.
They can't. He doesn't exist anymore.
However,
there's this really creepy stalker dude that seems to follow you everywhere in Twitch chat named Saturnaut.
Yeah, I don't know. That guy's.
Watch out for him.
Yep.
Do you have anything that you want to plug or anything before we get off?
I think everybody knows what I do.
Yeah.
I really tried to not go for the low-hanging fruit there, but
You should have. It would have been good. Would have been real good.
I know exactly what Carrie is thinking as a reply to the low-hanging fruit comment.
Wow.
I'm an adult.
Kiri, if people wanted to stalk you on the interwebs, or perhaps maybe find something you wrote in a local library or bookstore.
I am Kiri Callaghan. You can find me on the Google, on Twitter, and all of the things. Really, if you just type in my name, and all the pages are about me. Unfortunately, I'm very vain like that. Also, at one point, I wrote a book, and it's called Alice, and you can find it at any major retailer. If your bookstore is not carrying it, you should tell them to totally carry
have
it.
That book.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I got it back when I was doing the art for your character.
Aww.
I have
See?
the book in my heart.
John likes it, and therefore you should read it. And the rest of the day is going to be spent working on book 2 because my editor has been getting on my case a little bit. So yeah, you should check out all the things and check out all these awesome people too.
All right. Ilea. if people wanted to find you on the interwebs.
Give me a second as I put Alice in my Amazon cart.
Gotcha. We'll go to Elias then. Elias, if people want to avoid you and ensure that they don't see you on the internet, where would they want to avoid?
MySpace. I am really active on MySpace, Friendster, Xanga, all the hot social networks now. You can find me everywhere at Elias Thompson. I also stream a segment here on Zelda Universe Tuesday nights where I don't play Zelda on Zelda's channel because that made sense at the time. I stream on my personal.
A lot of it is Metroid, and Pokemon.
We'll see. I'm actually about to start a new game on that. So if any of you guys have some suggestions of what you'd like to see, let me know. But I'm also Elias Thompson on Twitch, where I stream on my personal channel more often recently because I've had a lot more free time. And
that has been a lot of Metroid.
Actually, yes.
You've done that randomizer, which is remarkably fun to watch. I love randomizers in general. But yeah, it's a lot of Metroid. Anyway.
Yeah, and then Wednesday nights over at twitch.tv/WinecraftTV, I do a show where it's called Winecraft Wednesday, where we drink wines and rate. No, hang on. We drink and rate wines while playing Minecraft, and our guest player is my co-host on that. So
that sounds like a dumb show.
It is.
Oh,
it's
come on.
incredibly dumb. You should watch it.
It's remarkably entertaining. And you actually had I watched one week. You had this really awesome guy, and you made a beholder in Minecraft.
That was a number of months or years ago.
Yeah, I believe it's been over a year because I haven't had alcohol in well over a year.
Oh yeah, it was you. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because alcohol doesn't mix with my meds. So, Ilea, now are you ready as you buy a copy of the book?
Yes, but not from Amazon, from the publisher.
Yeah, because Amazon's a jerk to smaller publishers.
Yes.
Anyway, what?
So you can find me.
They also own Twitch, by the way.
I know.
Just an FYI.
Hey, I didn't say anything that wasn't true. You look at like what they price our stuff as on their site and what it actually is, and it's like, girl.
So what you're saying is I need to buy another copy, but from the publisher this time.
Buy 100 copies from the publisher.
Everyone, if everybody in
really
chat
different.
buys 10 copies of Kiri's book, we can get her on the bestseller list. All right,
Wait, only
and
10.
get
If
10 of your
everyone- if
friends
everyone
to buy
buys
10 copies, and
And then
we
they
are
have
going to
take
get
it
her on
down.
the New York Times bestseller list. Okay.
Lol. I love this campaign. I'm sorry, I've started to monopolize everything. Please stop.
No.
So anyway,
Please
Ilea,
talk
where
about
can
how
people
amazing
find
you are, Aaliyah.
You can find me as Green Eyed Trombonist basically everywhere except for Twitter, where I'm Green Eyed T-Bone, or on G+. You can follow one of my 3 G+ accounts because I work on that platform and therefore have 3 accounts. And I do a lot of things involving tabletop RPGs. I'm making something right now related to that. But basically just follow me here, follow my Twitter for whenever I'm going to stream. If you like the idea of the musical episode, I tend to sing on my stream a lot.
Aaliyah, we need to do a singing stream at some
We
point.
do.
I've been trying to convince Elias to also do a similar thing.
Do it! What?
I think
He will when we do the musical episode.
I think one incentive
bet-
should be make him.
I'm dead serious.
think we need-
This is not us like trying to put it off or anything like that. We are making plans to make a very, very cool musical episode. So please, I know it was one of the redemptions that was made. We take that seriously, and it's going to be a very cool episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. So don't think that we're trying to weasel out of this. We're doing what we can to make this worth the redemption.
But it is
'cause
fair
it
to
was
say that I
1,000
am trying to weasel my way out.
Velvet Blondie, do not give him a way out. He is not going to mime instead. Elias is going to sing.
And I am TrainerJodie everywhere. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/TrainerJodie. I put a lot of RPG content on there. I'm currently doing a series I call my in-depth or comprehensive D&D guides, 5e, where I actually take the classes from D&D 5e and I talk about design wise how they're designed to work, and I give you tips on how to play them the way that they're designed to be played and to get the most out of your character from a mechanical perspective, while still falling in with the role-playing aspects and the lore of the class itself. I just recently did an episode on rogues and how they work in 5e, and we'll be doing one about the various rogue archetypes whenever I have the chance to do that. I also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TrainerJodie. I've recently become an affiliate, so you can subscribe to me, and I have emotes. The $5 emote is the "you broke the DM" emote. It is the word DM broken, and I'm very, very proud of it. So feel free to subscribe to that. So in this chat, you can, every time I break, you can go, broke the DM. And then Wednesday nights, I actually run 2 different campaigns on alternating weeks of D&D 5e games. They're custom. They're set in my own world that I created, and they're getting good. The first campaign just finished their first major story arc. The second campaign just finished their first kind of quest, and weird stuff is happening, and it's very role-play heavy, kind of similar to this. So feel free to check it out. It's 9 p.m. Central on Wednesdays, which doesn't conflict with anything else. Elias.
Our show starts an hour later now, so there's.
Oh, does it? Oh, so you can watch for an hour. Which
at my insistence. I mean,
we thought
you guys
having it back would be a good idea. It turns out it wasn't a good idea, so we moved it forward again.
So anyway, and then again, follow me on Twitter, stuff like that. Anyway, that's all for me and all of us today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and next week we will not have an episode. We do this every other week, but it will go up on YouTube if YouTube is your preferred video on demand. Otherwise, literally the second we go offline, you can actually go to the video on demand on Zelda Universe and watch it right there. Also, we've mentioned subscribing and things like that. Zelda Universe is an affiliate. You can subscribe to Zelda Universe. Do you guys have emotes? Actually, I'm not sure.
A lot of emotes. This is the $5 tier one. That's right there. We also have a sub-only portion of our Discord server that.
So yeah, I mean, you have the sub-only Discord server. You've got some emotes, and it does help Zelda Universe. Zelda Universe is more than just the show. They create content. I think you guys are doing 5. Are you doing 5 or 6 nights a week on the Twitch channel?
We're optimally 6.
Okay, so 6 nights a week, you can find them doing something, whether it's Sundays with Amanda, where she does blind runs of Zelda games she hasn't played before, or Alex, one of the members of this group, has his own show. Tonight is the Cody Zone.
No Cody Zone tonight, no Snake Run, so Amanda's is actually next tomorrow.
Okay, so Amanda's will be the next show that actually goes live on here. But follow the channel to know when it goes live, because there's a lot of really, really great content from a lot of different people. Cody's from Australia. Amanda's just crazy. We love Amanda. She's great. She does Zelda news.
One's from Australia. One's crazy.
Yeah, and then there's Elias.
There's a whole nother.
Yeah, so it's really great. So support the channel. They, everything from the software we use to actually video chat and bring you all this stuff, to the servers for the Zelda Universe website, which is where all this began, was just as a fan site that is now one of the top fan sites for Zelda in the world,
in the solar system.
In the solar system. The galaxy, even there's one in another galaxy that's getting bigger, but we don't talk about them. So these guys have done this as a labor of love, and it costs them money to do it. So supporting the channel is always a good thing. Anyway, again, that's all for me. I will see you guys next time. All right. Bye.
Thanks for watching, as the screen says it.